from Abuja.
Hello, I'm glad you are part of our show. We appreciate you. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and this is Magnus Kpakol GVA. As always, it's all about how we can raise the level of living. That's what it's all about. In view today, the woes of desperate politics. Are there signs of desperate politics in Nigeria? Can it hurt our economy and our society? Dr. Muchiola Olashupo and Professor Obida Governor Wafure are here to discuss this serious issue. Dr. Muchiola teaches political science and international relations at the University of Abuja, where Professor Obida Governor Wafure is head of the Department of Economics. But before we get to them, we will visit the Honorable Mohammed Garba Gololo, a rising political star in the Federal House of Representatives of Nigeria, and see what he's doing to make his constituency globally competitive. Stay tuned. Don't miss it. Also, wait for our hidden economics on the folly of wickedness. Now, up next in our quick view, we rank countries by political stability. That's coming right up. Political instability is the propensity of a government to collapse either because of conflicts or rampant competition between various political parties. Since economic growth and political stability are deeply intertwined, it will be instructive to note that an unstable political environment may reduce investments and consequently the pace of economic growth and development. In this connection, which of the following countries is not among the top 20 in the world in political stability? Canada, New Zealand, Singapore, and the United States of America. Which of the following African countries ranks the highest in political stability? Botswana, Mauritius, Nigeria, and South Africa. Stay with us for our answers coming up shortly. Still in view, the woes of desperate politics. But up next, Honorable Mohammed Garba Gololo of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. How he is helping his constituency to be globally competitive. Mohammed Garba Gololo is our Competitiveness Review Featured Political Personality of the Week. Honorable Mohammed Garba Gololo is embarking on various projects to make his community and entire constituency globally competitive. Honorable Gololo is a member of the Federal House of Representatives, representing Gamawa Federal Constituency of Bauchi State in Nigeria. To be globally competitive, an organization or personality will have standout competencies, innovative high-quality approaches in culture, style, sophistication, and global appeal. And then add efficiency and high productivity. All these converging to provide a good and memorable experience. Honorable Gololo believes that education is key to help make his community economically sophisticated with a highly productive labor force. To this effect, He has constructed classrooms and furnished them in various locations throughout Gamawa Federal Constituency. To build capacity, he has topped this off with financial support for the empowerment of more than 200 small-scale businesses throughout his constituency. This has mainly been aimed at the youth, believing that they hold the key for the global competitiveness of his people. Bill Gates would be proud of Honorable Gololo in his commitment to improving the healthcare system in his community. Developing countries, especially Nigeria, will do well to resort to solar power for easy-to-achieve targets in electricity provision. Honorable Gololo is providing solar street lights, transformers, and electricity in his constituency. Mohammed Garba Gololo, a political star in making his people to be globally competitive. Mrs. Blessing S. Yaide, in her glorious praise song, Sonedu Poro, which translated from Kana, an Ogoni dialect, means when a person does evil, or basically when a person is wicked. As in the song, wickedness never goes unpunished. Quite often, you start to wonder why a person would choose to be wicked. Why would they want to cause mischief? Well, using economic reasoning, a person usually does what he does in pursuit of some sort of gain. People don't typically pursue what would be harmful to them. A wicked person may not see his mischief as anything for himself, although he may see the pain inflicted on the victim of his enterprise. He may actually be proud and happy, believing he has done something good. Even in sports, when a player who has been fouled retaliates blatantly, he is often doing so to achieve some measure of self-satisfaction. But this is clearly full of folly. Folly in the sense that the action obviously lacks good sense or normal prudence and foresight. It is folly because often the offender thinks he would not be caught. This folly in wickedness can sometimes be criminally or tragically foolish because the odds are that typically you get caught, especially if the wickedness is perpetrated where the rule of law prevails. It is therefore easy to see why lawlessness and open wickedness can prevail in underdeveloped communities and countries. In such environments, the rule of law is weak, and immediate or easily linked punishment rarely follows some obvious crimes. Even so, punishment is guaranteed to follow in one form or another. The Bible and the Quran confirm this. Somehow, nature, if that's how you choose to look at it, also confirms this. That is, that punishment will ultimately follow crime. The curse of underdevelopment we often see about us can be traced to pervasive wickedness in society or to tyranny in leadership. And so, stop. Don't continue with any march of folly. in wickedness. Our hidden economics for you. Before we start our discussion, here are our quick view answers. The United States would be expected to be among the top 20 countries in the world, given its commitment to democracy, liberty, and economic freedom. However, because of frequent possibilities of government shutdown due to partisan politics in the federal legislature and other areas, the nation ranks at a distant number 77 in the world in political stability. Botswana, at number 17 in the world, is the top-ranked African country in political stability. South Africa and Nigeria, with signs of desperate politics, rank at numbers 108 and 182 respectively. For comments, adverts, and sponsorship, please see our information displayed on the screen. In view today, desperate politics. We have with us Dr. Mutiola Olashupo and Professor Obida Governor Wafure to discuss this. Dr. Mutiola teaches political science and international relations at the University of Abuja, where Professor Wafure is head of the Department of Economics. Please join us in our discussion. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for being in our studios.
Thank you.
Magoni Studios.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, Dr. Mutiola, you have been in our studios several times before. We've had discussions with you.
Yeah, I'm part of the family.
Thank you very much. And so today we are privileged to have Professor Wafure with us also.
Yeah.
So, but I want to talk about what I want to call the woes of desperate politics. Sometimes we see it not only in Nigeria but around the world, you know, where people want to win at all costs. And you see people even sometimes switching from one party to the other or using whatever means they can find to be sure that they win. So the question is, you know, why do they do that? And aren't there unintended consequences when that kind of thing happens? Earlier when we were before we started, I was asking which one is senior to the other. Is it politics that's senior to economics? You're head of the economics department, or is it economics that's senior to politics? So, Dr. Mutiola, let me throw that at you first.
Actually, I've already told you earlier on that when we talk about the relationship between the politics and economics, scholars have delved so deeply about what make the two concepts to be related. So there is dialectical relationship between politics and economy. But it has always been established that politics is actually the father of economics, in the sense that without political stability, economy cannot stay.
Yeah, but Professor, can't you have a situation where a formal political structure has not been set up yet? Just a group of people are participating, are running an economy, absent of a formal political structure. Even in that case, will you say that politics is senior to economics?
Well, you see, in the old age, when man started, there was no formal grouping. Man was a political animal on himself, trying to fend for himself in terms of looking for food, without any governor, without any police, without any security man, without any judge, He was on his own looking for his food. In the older past, economy stood on its own as man developed. But with time, you discover that you need politics in order to stabilize the economy. Now, the two of them are interwoven. Politics on its own cannot stand without a good economy.
Yeah.
But we normally say politics looks like the superstructure of our economy.
So, Prof, now when I talk about the woes of desperate politics, what do you see as being some of the real economic issues that we will worry about when we have chaos in the political space?
Yeah, you see, it's very important for the polity to be stabilized. Once there are chaos and crisis, the economy cannot survive. Investment will not be there. Infrastructure cannot develop. Even the infrastructure cannot work because security will not be there. The banking sector will not work. Infrastructure like light will not be there. Water supply will not be there because nobody to provide that. So as a result, it will cripple the economy of the country.
But I'm talking political, too much serious political bickering, where political parties are really fighting each other, like we're beginning to see in Nigeria today between, say, the APC and
Of
PDP.
course.
Yes.
It's the same thing. The government cannot even find its foot to work.
Okay.
Because the political party or the government in power cannot concentrate.
Okay.
Because her concentration is to maintain power. And by doing that, the other opposition will be planning to overthrow them in any means. So this political bickering will not allow for real implementation of policies in the government.
Yes. So, Doctor, when we say desperate politics, what comes to your mind? What is desperation? Is it from the political parties or from the gladiators, the persons or personalities, the actors in the political parties?
Actually, we look at it from both sides.
Okay.
Because when we talk about the desperate politics being played in a particular society, we are simply referring to acrimonious politics being in place. And acrimonious politics comes when a particular society is structured within the context of a zero-sum game, that you have to win at all costs. The winner takes all. And that is the kind of political system we're operating with in most of the African countries. So that's why you see the politicians, they go to extra mile. They do everything possible within their disposal to ensure that they win power at all costs. If need be, they try as much as possible to injure, destroy, in fact, assassinate their opponent simply because they want to get the power at all costs.
Do you see that in Nigeria?
Of course, that is what is happening in Nigeria today.
What do you see? What are some of the signs
I see
politics?
Take for instance now, recently, the federal government released the names of looters, and out of these names, there are some of these names that are already in court that are known to the public that they are actually witnessing court proceedings, and there are some that we didn't know about them before. So it means this confidential information about the looters and Nigerians were being hidden to the government. So what is the government doing all this while?
Hid them. They couldn't be hidden. It's the government that released the names.
Of course,
so which means the government.
This is the third year. This is the third year of its administration, and we cannot be told that this list came up yesterday. They have gotten the information about these looters all this while.
Maybe they were just.
What have they done to prosecute them? So this is the fundamental question we need to ask. As a matter of fact, where I'm dragging it to is that this confidential information became known to the public simply because of the so-called desperate politics that is playing up. This year, 2018, is seen as an electionary year, and it's a year in which each political gladiators will do everything possible to mobilize grassroots people for the purpose of winning the election. And masses need to be very careful. Nigerian masses need to be well organized, even though masses are always been atomized, highly disorganized. But this time around, we have to be organized. Every individual have to wise up and try to do the right things.
Who will organize the masses? Dr. Muchi always said we have to be who will do the organizing?
Yeah, you see,
or can we do the organizing?
Organizing the masses will be very, very difficult. Why? Who will be the vanguard?
It's done by the politicians.
Because as a vanguard, there must be a vanguard of rallying around to make sure that you organize the masses. And with the level of poverty we're in, how will they organize them? Somebody that's hungry, looking for what to eat, how will he be organized? By the time you give him 10,000, 1,500, 100 naira, he's behind the politicians. So, and what is the cause? Is poverty. So once there's poverty in the land, it will be difficult to organize these masses.
Is there a way in which desperate politics can be good? Let's say that I desperately want to be president or governor so that I can change the system for good. As Dr. Mutiola and Professor Wafure have reiterated, desperate politics is bad for society. In desperate politics, you can use just about any measure to win an election. It also means that the winner may have to use desperate measures to protect his mandate and, if possible, retain his seat in any subsequent election. As I have mentioned in the past, politicians facing an election can become desperate for two primary reasons. One, possible economic and financial returns. And two, power and stature in society. And so the time has come for the masses to reject politicians that are driven by these motives. To provide a good experience for the people, we need a society that brings good and justice. In addition to its specific constitutional and legal functions, the government is generally responsible for seeing that law and order are maintained and that the needs of the public are addressed as far as is practicable. The people, especially in Nigeria and throughout the developing world, will have to demand this, and vigorously. I don't believe that any person under the law should need to use extreme and outrageous measures to win an election for the sake of taking care of the people. Any desperate political measure taken to win an election has to be political witchcraft. And as I've said previously, witchcraft is power without authority. So engaging in desperate politics is using power without authority. Witchcraft. And witchcraft can never be good for the people. The most effective way to end desperate politics is for the people to be educated and to have jobs so they can freely pick the candidates of their choice. Individual households will have to lead in this and demand it, using every appropriate method. Justice must also prevail, so that even if desperate politics should win, it can be corrected. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and that's my view.
Magnus.